I told my ex-girlfriend I'm bisexual, and she broke up with me. Well, the thing about it is, there's another secret that I didn't tell her, and when I went to go find another girlfriend, somebody that I was, well, in love with, it turns out that my ex-girlfriend wasn't over me, and she decides to get with my brother. But the story doesn't end there. You might be wondering, oh, Mr. Reddito, you ruined the best part. I promise you, there is so many more juicy details.
Hello everyone, my name's Asher. I found out that I'm bisexual when I was in college. This revelation's caused me a lot of pain in my life due to the people in my life's various reactions to it. In high school, I dated Megan, and we were completely in love. However, our romance was short-lived as we went to different colleges across the country from one another. So, it was completely a mutual breakup, and we only wished the other best, even though we wished to be together. At college, I was in awe of my roommate because he was a very confident gay man. Watching him be true to himself made me realize that I'm attracted to men as well as women. We became very close and started to date. He really helped me with all the conflicting feelings I had because of the sudden revelation. We dated for 2 years. However, after a blissful 2 years, a friend of mine told me about something hurtful. He told me that he saw my boyfriend with another woman at a restaurant. That's when I found out that he wasn't out of his family, and he was dating his high school girlfriend as well as me. I was so hurt by this that I immediately started living with a friend instead of him. This experience was very painful for me because he did not think that it was a huge deal. He thought that I would understand because I was not out to my family either. However, this experience scarred me for a long time, and I did not date anyone for about 3 years after that. I was scared of being betrayed like that ever again. Until I ran into Megan again. I'd moved back to my parents' state after I graduated, and Megan had recently moved back as well. Our old feelings resurfaced, and I did not feel the anxiety I started feeling after my college boyfriend, because I really trusted Megan already a lot. It did not take long for us to move in together. However, the trouble began a few years later. We'd been dating for 4 years by then, and Megan had started to expect me to propose. I did think that it was a reasonable demand. However, the idea of being committed to someone for the rest of my life absolutely terrified me. I had this internal fear that she would betray me as my college boyfriend did. I'd brought her a ring and everything, but I just could not make myself propose due to my fears. One day, I decided to sit Megan down and tell her everything. I began by saying, "Megan, I'm bisexual." Then I told her how I had commitment issues because of my last partner. However, she was horrified that I had not told her, and I tried to reassure her that it did not have anything to do with her. I was insecure about my identity. Megan, on the other hand, was not in the mood to get reassured by me. She began accusing me of using her as a cover-up to hide behind her, and I was very confused and tried to clarify her confusion. She said that I was gay and was using her. That's why I did not want to marry her. I was horrified at how she had gotten to that conclusion and tried telling her that it was not true. I was bisexual, meaning that I'm attracted to men and women. However, she only saw me as somebody attracted to men exclusively. Well, we had a big fight, which mainly involved me trying to explain bisexuality and the definition of it to her, and how it had nothing to do with her. However, I did not get any sympathy. Instead, she threw me out of my own house, saying that if I had any respect left for her, I would make myself sparse for the weekend. When I came back after the weekend, the house was empty of her belongings. Mostly, I was angry at her treating me like that. She didn't even try to hear me out. She jumped to her own conclusions without actually trying to listen to my fears. I spent the next few months in a lot of pain after being dumped once again with a great reason. It hurts me even more when my brother, Dan, called me telling me that he was dating Megan. He clarified that she had to come to him after she and I broken up, and that they've been closer than ever. He asked me if that was okay with him, and in turn I asked him what they would do if I said that it was not okay. He said that they would continue to date, and my feelings weren't that important to their relationship anyways. However, he claimed that he would feel a great burden lifted from him if I am okay with the relationship. I knew that my family would ostracize me if I said no to Dan, as Dan was always Mother's favorite. So I gave in. I told him not to worry about my emotions. I was the one who had to regulate them, and he could just go ahead dating Megan. I did not know much Megan had told Dan, but I was just glad that he had not brought it up during our phone call. However, Megan passive-aggressively did taunt me every time we met after that. Even at her wedding with Dan a year later, she privately asked me if I had brought my college boyfriend with me. It was hell meeting Megan after that. So I usually avoided it. However, my mother, Jamie, always pushed me to be more social, claiming that my bad luck was due to not being social. It took me some time to move past this obstacle in life. About 5 years to be exact, and I'd felt very nervous approaching people, and it also took me some time to come to terms with my sexuality. Now that I wasn't seeing anyone, I had time for that. I became more confident with my sexuality. However, I did not reveal that to my family, and afraid that they would react like Megan. 1.5 years ago, I met this beautiful woman, Mackie, at a resort. We were both on a solo trip, and we ran into each other as she was getting in. It soon became apparent that we were both alone there. We started to chit-chat and realized that we were both nature lovers and loved doing physical, adventurous activities. I asked her if she would like to join me for skiing if she wasn't too tired. That solo trip essentially turned into a spontaneous travel partnership, and it was super fun hanging out with her. We ate together, went sightseeing together, and we even realized that we had the same flight back and our houses were just a few miles apart. On the last day of our trip, I could not resist and asked her if she would like to go on a date with me when we were back in the city. And she shyly said yes. I was over the moon about it. It had been some time since I've been excited about any sort of dating prospect, yet even thinking about going on a date with Mackie made me feel all giddy and warm. We went on a few dates, and I was head over heels for her. I was transparent about my sexuality with her from the get-go, not wishing for any misunderstandings deep in our relationship. She told me to relax. She knew about bisexuality and was completely comfortable with my sexuality. Slowly, I revealed my dating history to her, and she was very compassionate and angry on my behalf. She reassured me that she understood if I wanted to take things slow. So we did. We dated for 1.5 years, in which I kept her away from my family. However, recently I asked her to move in with me, and she accepted. Her house was bigger than mine, so we decided to move into her house. I realized right then and there that this would mean revealing my relationship with Mackie to my entire family. So, this made me nervous as Megan had continued to treat me like I was gay behind my family's back, even though I have insisted numerous times that this is just false. I've tried explaining bisexuality to her, but she doesn't want to know. Mackie was understanding and told me that she would make sure that everything went smoothly. However, it wasn't really in Mackie's hands if my family decided to act badly. And this is exactly what happened. I invited my family to dinner, which included my mom, Dan, and Megan, and they came over yesterday, and my mom seemed to like Mackie just fine. They didn't get along especially well, but they did have formal convos with one another, for which I was very, very grateful. Dan just told me that he was glad that I was dating someone, as he was starting to suspect that I was mad that he had married Mackie. I told him that his life choices had absolutely nothing to do with me, so I don't know why he was worried in the first place. The problem began after dinner, when Megan approached me. She had an ugly scowl on her face when she asked me if my girlfriend knew that I was gay. I continued drying the dishes as I reminded her that I was not in fact gay. I'm bisexual, woman. She claimed that bisexuality is just an excuse for being gay, so I should stop hiding behind it already. I told her to leave me alone. I told her that I was happy and was also happy that she was happy with my brother. No need to cause any further drama. However, she insisted that she can't see another woman get roped into my shame. I told her that Mackie knew about my sexuality, so she should just quit it. She called me a liar and said that she would not stop until Mackie really knew that being with a gay man is actually like. I slammed my fist on the counter, scaring her and taking a step back. I wasn't nice enough to take advantage of my big size and strength if it meant that Megan would get scared and back off. I told her that my relationship was none of her business, and that she should stay away from me and Mackie if she knew what was good for her. She gaped at me like a fish, and then hurried out of there, skedaddling, not before she threatened to reveal my secret to Mackie. I told her do whatever the heck she sees fit. Her threats didn't scare me. This encounter has made me mad. I did talk to Mackie about it, and she was angry on my behalf. However, I don't like how passionate Megan is about this. She's always acted like this, that she's entitled to me for some reason. I've seen Dan be uncomfortable about it, as it seems like she isn't over me yet to other people. I just hope Megan doesn't do something stupid. I just feel so ill-prepared. What should I do to get rid of her? Please, help me out. Top comments from the original post. Comment number 1 comes from Sammy708. Your ex-girlfriend turned sister-in-law is way out of line. She's invalidated your infidelity and identity multiple times and just seems like a jerk. I'm sorry for the way your previous romantic partners have treated you. Both of them were complete crap. I'm glad that you found someone who's compassionate and understanding towards your feelings. You deserve someone like Mackie. I think Mackie would, be up to helping you out in the situation. Both Megan and Mackie are women. I think Megan will just listen to Mackie better than she does you. Maybe Megan's still pretty hurt from what she thinks you did to her to actually listen to your side of the story. But maybe Mackie can explain it to Megan and clear out the air. I think you should do nothing and just trust in Mackie. Or maybe ask her to clear the air between you two because Megan is clearly not eager to do so herself. Update number 1. Hello everyone, it's Asher again. Of course I was expecting some, biphobic comments on my post, and I'm not going to validate bisexuality as sexuality to you guys. Do you want to stay ignorant? Stay ignorant. I don't give a crap. So back to the drama. It's been a month and everything was silent. However, our family had been inviting to my cousin's wedding, and I was taking Mackie as my date. This event was making me a bit nervous and queasy, and I was just hoping that Megan would not pull anything when we were there. I was right to be suspicious. The wedding ceremony went just fine. However, the real trouble began at the wedding reception when Megan decided that the public setting was the best place to be herself. We were all sitting together at the same table with a few other people when Megan asked Mackie how long we've known each other. When Mackie said that we've been together for about 1.5 years, she asked her if she knew that I was gay. At Mackie's horrified expression at outing me in front of everyone at the table, she continues, thinking that Mackie did not know. She said that I had told her that and was, with her despite being gay. Dan hissed at her to stop embarrassing the family. My mom just sat there with an open mouth, confused at the turn of events. Before Mackie or I could interject, Megan continued that I wasn't even experimenting. I was in love with the guy and everything in college. Megan turned to me and announced that she didn't want to watch me lead another woman on like I did her. However, Mackie had it under control and asked Megan if I was sleeping with my college boyfriend while I was with her. She asked if she was implying that I had cheated on her. She screamed that I lied to her, not caring about the people looking at the commotion at our table. Mackie told her that if she's just ignorant, she can Google what bisexuality is, to which she rolled her eyes, calling it a gay man's excuse. Then Mackie brought up the fact that Megan had just outed me in front of my whole family without my consent. However, Megan told her to be grateful, saying that she was doing her a favor. That's when Mackie absolutely lost it. She told me to hold her rings, and she lunged over the table right at Megan. I got a hold of her just in time, and, just as Dan pulled Megan to stand with him away from Mackie. Megan screamed that I lied to her, to which Mackie said that I made the right choice in doing so. Looking at her reaction, it's clear that she's pretty homophobic. Megan screamed that Mackie could not just turn it on her, while Dan pulled her away from the table. Mackie told her that she was being horrible and punishing me for things that weren't even my fault for years, while she went on and married my own brother. Ugh. Mackie asked if she ever wondered how Dan must feel watching his wife not being able to move on from her ex, who's happened to be the big brother. That shut Megan up, and she let Dan lead her out of the wedding. I also took Mackie out, not wishing to create a big scene, much bigger than it already is, leaving my mom in my uncle's care. Well, I'm back home with Mackie now, and I feel conflicted. On one hand, I'm so grateful for Mackie, she stood up for me like that. On the other, Megan outed me in front of my mom. I don't even know how I can ever face her again. Dan's been calling me nonstop, and I've just switched my phone off. Today was a lot. I don't know how to compartmentalize my feelings. I just felt like I should write this all down, and maybe this would help me understand how I'm feeling. But it's not helping either. Update number 2. Hey guys, it's Asher again. It's been 2 weeks since the fiasco at my cousin's wedding. Today, my mother had ordered everyone to come over to her house for lunch. I got there a few minutes earlier to have a private conversation with her, and she asked me if I am indeed bisexual and not gay like Megan claimed. I reassured to her that I did not trick nor lie to Megan, that she's blowing this completely out of proportion. My mother is an understanding woman. She can be harsh at times, but I know she can be reasoned with. So I wasn't shocked when she took my side instead of Megan's. However, I needed to ask her if this knowledge changed our relationship, and she said, as long as I gave her grandkids in the future, be it my biological kids or adopted kids, she didn't care which gender I was with. By the time lunch began, I was relaxed, having cleared the air between Mom and I. Megan and Mackie, on the other hand, were not even looking at one another. Dan and I were keeping them apart as well. Once the awkward dinner was over, my mother announced that if anyone ever brought up crap again anywhere, she'll make sure that there are consequences. She looked straight at Megan when she said that. When Dan was gone with our mother to the kitchen with the plates, Megan rear-backed on me. She asked me if I'd lied to my mom as well, and I was done and just asked what her problem was. She hissed that I betrayed her. I said that I had not. It was she who betrayed me when she didn't believe me, even when we've been together for years. Our relationship should have been sturdy enough for understanding, yet she had turned it around on me and blamed me for how she reacted. She asked me how else was she supposed to react. I said that she was supposed to understand where my fear came from. I mean, I truly loved her back then, and you needed understanding to sustain that kind of love. I was grateful that Mackie had remained silent throughout this conversation, and when we came back, I confided that I was angry at Megan. She had not respected my mother's wishes directly after she made them, and I could not help myself but ask why Megan would not let the matter go. Mackie was shocked that I did not already know. She revealed that she thinks Megan is still in love with me and only married Dan to get back at me, obviously. That did make some twisted kind of sense, and it gives me a great idea of revenge. Megan has no problem breaking my mother's wishes and outing me in front of my whole extended family. Now I'm coming for her, and I'll make her regret everything that she's done to me in the name of betrayal. I want to get rid of her from my life permanently. Update number 3. Hello guys, it's Asher here. I have let a few weeks pass between the lunch with my family to put my plan into motion so Megan would not be suspicious. I texted her if she would be comfortable meeting me for lunch at a restaurant as I had something important to discuss. She was hesitant at first, but ultimately agreed. I get there in time to set up my phone to record the conversation that would hopefully expose the truth. Megan got there and did not even greet me as she got into her seat. She ordered a drink and asked me what I wanted to talk about, and I pretended to take a deep breath and revealed that I've been thinking about everything she said to me in the past few months. I told her to be honest, this was the first time that we were really talking about the situation. I claimed that this had made me look into myself and made mistakes, and that caught her attention, I could tell. I lied to her that I wasn't in love with my college boyfriend, claiming it was a phase because I have not been with a man after that. I told her that I was lying to her back then. I was just not sure why I dated the man, because I've always only been attracted to women. She asked me if I was saying that I was straight. I said yes. I'm probably straight because I can't get over her. Her eyes delighted at the confession, and she reached for my hand with a warm smile. She told me that she's never been over me either, which shouldn't have shocked me as much as it did. I asked her about Dan. What she revealed to me made me sick to my stomach. She claimed that she had only started dating him because she was angry at me. She said that she had hoped that Dan would help her get over me, but she could not. Now she was married to him, however, she quickly reassured me that she would divorce him if I broke up with Mackie. I pretended to be eager to do so, all the while I felt icky at her excitement. She was being so damn delusional. I felt manipulated and wrong, and she had humiliated me in front of my whole family and outed me without my consent, and I had to remind myself multiple times what she had brought upon herself. I told her that I was proposing to Mackie tonight, however. If she still was up for it, I'll marry her instead. Megan was over the moon about it and said yes. She would be there, and with that I trapped the prey, hook, line, and sinker. I gave her the details of where I was supposed to propose to Mackie, and that she should wait until I sign her to come forward. Then I'll tell Mackie that I'm still in love with Megan. Later, Megan can give a divorce to Dan and we can just live together. She thought that this was a perfect plan. I'm currently running to get into position by Mackie's favorite lake, where I've told Megan to hide. What she doesn't know is that I've also asked Dan and my mom to hide as well, given the excuse that I want my mother to be there when I propose to the love of my life. And of course, Dan was willing to bring my mother there. Update number 4. Hey everybody, so I tricked my ex-girlfriend into revealing her true colors in front of my family last night. I'd planned everything out. I walked through the park, hand in hand with Mackie, and when we got to the pier at the lake, we stopped. I looked over at Megan and she gave me a shaky smile. She thought that I was now going to break up with Mackie, however I turned and went down on a knee and confessed my internal love for her. Mackie said yes because this wasn't actually a real proposal. I'd already proposed to her in the same fashion here the day before. It was beautiful. I even had a picnic set up for us. She cried when she saw me on one knee, and so did I when she said yes to being my wife. However, this was a fake proposal now. But Mackie still acted out her best. But we were interrupted by Megan, who rushed out of the bushes screaming and asking what I was doing. At this interruption, Dan and my mom appeared as well. From Megan's right, however, she didn't see them. She claimed that I was supposed to propose to her, and that we were supposed to get married after I broke up with Mackie and she divorced Dan. Dan stumbled ahead at first and asking her what she's talking about. Megan goes pale, and just stuttered that she was unaware of his presence. Dan repeated his question instead, demanding an answer, and I told Dan that Megan didn't need an answer to that. I had the whole recording of everything detailed. Megan stumbled back as if I struck her physically. She lunged at me, calling me a liar. Of course, in this situation, she was correct. Mackie pulled her back and threatened to punch her if she did not behave, and Dan snatched my phone to listen to the recording. All the while, Megan begged him to stop listening. When Dan was done listening, he turned towards his wife and told her that if she wants a divorce, he would not hold her back. Megan shook her head, crying now, and said that I've manipulated her again. Dan screamed at her that she had agreed to it all on her own accord. I had not bullied her, I have not coerced her, and anything. She willingly confessed a love for me and revealed all her secrets. Megan begged him to forgive her, but Dan was having none of it. He walked past all the while. Megan followed him crying. Watching the ad unfold gave me a lot of relief and a twisted kind of happiness. I'm sad that I've ruined Dan's marriage, but I'm not sad that I've ruined Megan's marriage. On the way back, my mother said what I did was wrong. However, I told her that she had kept quiet for years of Megan's taunts directed towards me, so her opinion to me doesn't matter. She kept quiet at that, but before she got out of the car, when we reached home, she revealed that she didn't want to say anything to not hurt Dan. I told her that in doing so she hurt me, but that doesn't matter as I know Dan's her favorite. She didn't deny it either and just got out of the car. That's how last night ended. Now Megan will be out of my life forever.
I think Megan got everything she deserved. But the one thing that nobody was really talking about in the comment section, and something that just kept popping up into my mind, I don't know why there wasn't more hatred or toxicity talk about Dan. I mean, we're talking about OP's brother, who simply did not care at all that Megan was OP's ex. And yes, he might have said, hey man, it would make me feel a lot better if you were okay with this, but ultimately, I don't really care what you think, OP, because I'm going to be with Megan no matter what. And I just thought that was ridiculous, considering the fact that that was his brother. Anyways, let's discuss this down below in the comment section, guys. Thank you for joining me on today's story. My name's Mr. Reddito. I narrate stories like this every single day, so if you want to be a part of these daily readings, all you have to do is subscribe to the channel. Click that subscribe button underneath this video. Also, check out the description. I have some of my favorite playlists, my favorite stories of all time, which include some pretty crazy mother-in-law stories. Have an amazing day. I'll see you guys tomorrow. And of course, remember, it's cool to be kind. Peace.